What's up, everybody? Hopefully everyone can see me and do all the things, and we're gonna be talking about some movies because I just want to hang out today. I just want to hang out and talk about some movies. This should be on a couple different channels, but I don't know. It kind of doesn't seem like it is. So, oh well. You know what? I'm going to talk about all the movies that I watched in May. This is one of those moments, you know, like I like doing these streams because it's kind of like a confessional. It's, do I have a problem? Maybe. But, you know, I don't watch TV. And sports are, you know, basketball is coming to a close, so there's fewer games to watch. And so I've been watching a lot of movies, and you're going to judge me probably for how many movies I watched. But, you know, here you are on a, Thursday afternoon. You're watching me talk about movies. So, you know, like I think of Obi-Wan a little bit, you know, we're all in the same boat. You know, who's more foolish, the fool or the one who follows the fool, you know? So we're all movie fanatics, lovers of film, whatever you want to call it. But let's start off with, oh, I like showing this. All right. So we got my Letterboxd. If you want to follow me, just search Movie Mud on Letterboxd and you'll find me. But let me know if you've seen these movies in the chat. Let me know what you think about these movies. If you have just really any conversation about movies, look, let's hang out. So I'm going to start off with, I watched Bill Durham. Never seen that flick before. I don't think I missed out too much. What did I say about this one? I said something, yeah, a crap movie that is pulled out from the mire by the cast. Like, what a weird movie. They thought it would be so good to like just have, you know, Kevin Costner be a baseball player. And, you know, this idea that this lady is just like sleeping with whoever for that baseball season and helping them with their game and making them into like this, you know, really excellent player through her relationship. What a bizarre thing, right? It's just like the most bizarre premise. But, you know, people loved it back in the day. I don't think it holds too much water these days, but let me know. Maybe I'm wrong about it. I watched Dirty Work. Never seen that one either. And I like Norm Macdonald. I used to watch a ton of his SNL stuff. I made a short recently about my iPod video. And I had a bunch of like Norm Macdonald stuff, Will Ferrell stuff around that era of SNL bits. Like I just saved them all on my iPod and would rewatch them over and over again. So I like him, but I've never seen the movie. Wow, is he funny? Like it's not that good of a movie, but he is really funny in it. Norm was the only guy who could pull off this script. He's so funny, even when the movie so isn't, because it is full of like stuff that today they would not be able to make this movie. I'm telling you, like there's stuff in this script that you're just like, oh dang, like the prison stuff. Like you just wouldn't be able to do that. And we'll find out maybe this weekend with Scary Movie, whatever. What is it? 6? I don't know. The newest Scary Movie coming out, and seeing if people will go to it. But back then, they were making whatever, and it didn't do well, but it was really funny. And so I enjoyed it. Then I watched the Blair Witch Project. Got to tell you, man, I know some people say like this is the scariest movie they've ever seen, and like that it's, terrifying. And maybe back in the day it was. I am not a horror guy. My wife is so into horror, and we've been watching more scary movies over the last couple years, and I'm slowly getting into it. Okay, I don't like the gore, so like you would think if I like suspense, I like films taking a shot and doing something a little bit different, and I don't like the gore very much. You think I would have loved this movie. It was so boring, y'all. Like I can sit through 4-hour Oscar bait movies and enjoy myself. I dig a long movie, but nothing happened. And maybe it's just because, having grown up in the Pacific Northwest, I can tell when people are walking around in circles and just doing the same stuff, and they're just going by the same tree over and over again. That happens so much in this movie. Like, I know a lot of people would probably be like, oh, well, they just wandered all over the place and were shooting in all these different places in the forest. I don't know. Like, part of it might be that they were walking in circles, and that's part of the story of it. But when you're seeing the same fallen tree for the 7th time, and everyone's being like, where's the map? What's going on? What's that sound? It's just, you can only do that for so long. And even though this is a very short movie, it's like an hour and a half, I felt like it just dragged and dragged and dragged. And I knew, because I'm plugged into culture, right? Even though I had not seen this movie before, I knew that nothing is really seen, but I was expecting at least a little bit more chills. I was not scared at all. I get terrified about everything. And I was just like, this is not scary in the slightest. You don't really know what's going on. The acting is, probably cheesy on purpose because they're supposed to be not actors, right? So, but it was kind of a difficult watch, to be honest. One that I felt like me and my wife, we needed to watch it because we haven't seen it before, and we love movies. So got to watch some of these ones that, might not be my cup of tea, but I got to tell you, that was a snooze fest. So Blair Witch Project, the Thomas Crown Affair, which I remember watching back in the day. Man, this movie is stylized. This movie is interesting to watch, but also really kind of messy. Especially with the lady and trying to do her job, and then she gets sucked into this relationship with Steve McQueen, and it's just she would be so fired. They're acting it's she could balance these things, and the other guy's getting mad at her, and it's just, man. But when it comes to the heist stuff, and specifically the first 20 minutes of this movie rocks so hard, because you don't fully know what's going on. You get that these guys have never met, and they're being used to orchestrate this crime. But it's just, after that, it kind of falls apart and just becomes for me, I just enjoyed the style of the movie. And, Steve McQueen just looks cool. So you put him on camera, and yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. What's up, Carol? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for hopping into this stream and hanging out with me and talking about movies. Let me know what you think about some of these movies or some of the movies you've been watching. Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Definitely a step down from the first one. I was a little disappointed because I really liked that first one. That first one is the exact kind of thing that I love about cheap horror movies. It's just fun. and on the nose kind of humor, and you just get one character and you could just really root for him. And I just didn't see much else brought to the table. I thought that it was going to, because you have like the guy from The Pit right now, and then Sarah Michelle Gellar, and they're playing brother and sister. I thought I was going to like really dig those characters, but I did not. Like they at the end, they go like, this is what the dynamic was in this relationship. And to be honest, I didn't see that. Like, I didn't see the dynamic. And so I was a little like, where are we going with this? Like, it was just kind of confusing with those two characters. Some funny stuff going on with the other family members, the family heads and stuff, and who gets to be the head of the family and what that means. Like, there's some humor in here that I really dug. But like the violence angle is really what you would come to this movie for. And there wasn't really anything that really stood out. The setting kind of stood out just because you're at like this resort, and like there's all like the golf stuff, it just looks so pretty. And then you have people running around like crazy. So that's kind of fun. But I didn't think that they used it all that well. So I don't know. It was a step down, but it was still kind of fun. So I gave it 3 stars. So it's definitely a passable movie. Like, I'll watch it again, but I really dug that first one. So I was a little disappointed. Then I watched Cold Storage. This is the Liam Neeson movie. What's his name? Steve from Stranger Things. Where do we go for cast here on this? Don't they have that on Letterboxd? Not on this page, apparently. Maybe I got to go to the actual movie. Yep, got to go to the actual movie. Oh, Joe Keery. I thought this guy's a star. All right. I know I'm biased because of Stranger Things, and I really dug him as Steve. But this guy needs to be in more stuff. I watched Free Guy too. I'll get into that in a little while. Why is he not like household name? Why do I struggle to remember his name other than Steve Harrington? But he is amazing, and he made this movie really enjoyable. Also Liam Neeson, like I bet this is the movie Liam Neeson relates to the most, for my review, because it's just like, he's so ready to be awesome, but his body, he's old. So, but it's a fun movie. Just kind of, something gets out of hand and the government doesn't really want to do anything. And Liam Neeson is there to kind of tell people like, hey, we need to do something about it. And then they do something about it. So I don't want to spoil anything because it's kind of fun. But it's a good time. So Cold Storage for me was a 3-star. Then me and my family, we all went out to see The Sheep Detectives. I was shocked by how good this was. Now, I wasn't sure. Like, when the trailer first dropped, when I saw Sheep Detectives, like, was the title, I was like, oh, this is going to be trash. This looks so dumb. What are you talking about? Sheep Detectives? Are you serious? Oh, man. Hugh Jackman, Wolverine. He's really taking a tumble here. But when I watched the trailer, I was like, there might be something there. It's either a really dumb adult movie or a pretty decent kids movie. And then the other trailers came out, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm thinking like this is a kids movie. And people started talking about how cute it was, and I was like, okay, well, let's bring the whole family out. I saw the rating for it, and I was like, seems appropriate for my kids. Like, let's go and watch this movie. And everybody loved it. Everybody had a good time with it. Now, I think that there are some flaws that people overlook just because it's a kids movie. But overall, it was pretty fun. And there's a really good story about grief in there and overcoming that. And, I just really dug actually like the human stuff a lot more. Even like there are sheep detectives, but there's an actual police officer trying to put this thing together. That guy was great. He was so good in this thing. So I really dug it. So 3.5 stars. It's one of my favorite movies of the year so far. As far as new movies, not a lot has come out, but I really enjoyed it, and I was kind of surprised that I did. But The Sheep Detectives was pretty fun. Then in one of my last videos, I showed off a movie haul, and part of that was all the Jackie Chan movies I got for my wife for Mother's Day, because we're movie people. And so when it's like a special holiday, sometimes you get movies as presents. And she loves Jackie Chan, and I was not going to pay for that Arrow, breakout hits of Jackie Chan. So I hunted some of these down and got her Rumble in the Bronx. We watched that. Oh my goodness, man. That thing holds up. Jackie Chan, he's hilarious. Like the whole style that he's known for with, hitting things and going like, everything you see in Shanghai Nights and Noon, like that's really fun. But he is so stinking talented. There is a moment where he goes through a shopping cart, like a little metal shopping cart, and he fits his entire body through it and then like hits somebody after going through it. Like that is an insane feat that, you just don't see stuff like that anymore. And then the end, I've noticed this because I watched another Jackie Chan movie. I forgot, like I've seen these movies before, but I was so surprised, like the huge ending that these movies have. Like there's something like, I don't know what Jackie Chan was like trying to do, but it seems very purposeful to have like huge machinery and vehicles be used as like the ending of the movie. And so it was just really fun to rewatch that with my wife. Story, it kind of just ends. That's a Jackie Chan movie. It's really fun to watch with all the hits and everything. And there's a little bit of story going on, but you're really there for the action. And then once the action's done, the movie's over. And so that's always been like the fatal flaw of a Jackie Chan movie as far as just like a movie. So that's why it's sitting there with a 3.5 here. Then I watched Chef because it's one of the most rewatchable movies of all time. What a happy movie, a joyful movie. It's just like, and there's a lot of dark stuff that happens in that movie. But there's just something to his passion for the food. If you don't know, this is Jon Favreau directing himself, and it's about a chef who was, a rising star, kind of just got caught up and complacent at a restaurant, wanted to do some new things, was told no from his boss. Food critic comes in, rips him apart, and he goes online. This is the early days of Twitter, which is kind of fun before it became like the cesspool that it is now on X. So like, it's just kind of fun to watch, some of those kinds of moments. And, he gets into it with this food critic and loses basically his job and livelihood and has to start over with a food truck. And his passion is reignited. And it's this beautiful movie about a father and son's relationship and how you can use your passion to, kind of find your children's passion in life. And that's really fun. So what a cute movie, a funny movie. Well shot movie. And also, I keep on meaning to make a reel about it, but there is a huge Mandalorian and Grogu. They have a chef reference in their movie. And I think I saw something about them kind of hinting at that in a video too, in their like interview process promo for the movie. But what a great movie. If you haven't seen Chef, you need to. It's just a happy movie. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Because of course I'm going to watch that, like, man, this movie, it's just rewatching it. I'm just always surprised at how great Sean Connery is. And you think about it, like he was walking into this well-developed franchise and coming in and basically, giving reason for a lot of the things that we see in Raiders and Temple of Doom and inside Indy's psychology, basically. And he does it so well. And then like the kindness that he shows toward the end, like there's like the callousness at the beginning because it's just like, we need to find this thing. We need to find the Grail before the Nazis do. And, all that kind of stuff. And the typical Indy fun stuff. But the father and son relationship is what shines in this thing the more you watch it. And maybe that's just because I'm a dad, but oh my goodness, what a good time. 4.5 stars. Of course, it's a classic. Then I watched The Bone Collector. This is a movie that my wife wanted and bought. And she remembers really liking it, and I hadn't seen it before. Fun movie. Kind of slow. I like the relationship between Angelina Jolie and Denzel Washington. Basically, Denzel Washington is a detective who can't move. Quadriplegic, I think is what you would call that. But he's basically in a bed, and he can control, he's got like use of one finger, I think. And so he can control this computer and kind of, do some investigating, and he's a writer. And so the cops, they come to him with a case because they can't crack it. And it's basically just a big, mystery movie and a police, manhunt kind of movie. And it's pretty fun, a little predictable, especially toward the end, but a good time. Then I watched Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and yeah, this is what I said about it. The cliffhanger gets more frustrating with each rewatch. Maybe someday it won't. Hurry up, Florida Miller. Man, like I remember coming out of that movie and just being like blown away by the animation, and I just loved it so much. But the more you rewatch this movie, the more frustrating it is that we don't have the next one. And I don't think it's just like, audience member being impatient about a sequel to it. It's such a huge cliffhanger that it feels like you watch this movie and you're loving it. You're enjoying it, and you enjoy the characters and you enjoy the different worlds. And then like it basically crescendos and there's nothing. It's just now movie over. And, here we are, 3 years later, and there's not even a timeline. I know they say, like they've said 2026 and then 2027. And now there's like some people talking about, well, they're starting to get people to come in and do the voices. And it's like, it's not close, guys. I would be surprised if we get this movie before 2028. I'd be surprised at this point. And that's lame, like it's one thing for like, all right, Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3, many years apart, right? But these movies had endings. They were full movies within themselves. And it's just getting more and more frustrating watching that movie every time because it's just, there is no ending. And it feels kind of empty. Is it cool? Absolutely. Is it beautiful to watch? Absolutely. But there's just no ending and it's frustrating. So I don't know, maybe it's just me and just wanting to have that movie and be able to watch it. But I really want that Beyond the Spider-Verse. And I will say, like, some people talk about like, is this going to be, once Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out, is this one of the best superhero trilogies? I think that the time between these movies, is going to be something that hurts that. Like, I think just like fans, we're going to remember this, that you left us on that big of a cliffhanger. And like maybe in 15 years, someone who watches these movies and they've all come out will be like, that's incredible. But if you're living now and you're watching this stuff, I think it's really frustrating. Then I watched The Karate Kid. I was having a Lego day with my sons and I was like, guys, I know what we could do while we're building Lego. We bring all the Lego. There's tons of Lego in my house. And we bring the Lego into the living room and we're building stuff, castles, whatever. Usually it's some kind of a tree house. And so we're building and I'm like, okay, this is going to be great. Let's put Karate Kid on. None of these kids watched it. I got little movie fans, okay? They know what's coming out. We watch trailers all the time. Like, these kids are movie kids. like not screen kids, movie kids. And they're just not interested in the Karate Kid. Wasn't holding their attention at all, which was super disappointing. But as I was watching it and I was like kind of watching for their reactions, I kind of got it, you know, like this movie is really for probably like early college students, you know, it's a little bit slow and like, yeah, you might be able to get like some more out of it when you're younger. But I don't think you can be that young. And I thought that, you know, some of the fights and stuff would kind of draw them in, but it didn't. So I have it at 3 stars. I'm not the biggest fan of this movie, but I do think it's better than, you know, what they were wanting to watch. It was that or Angry Birds. Oh, I'm not watching Angry Birds again. Batman Forever. They picked it. I think that was, it was the same day. It was during Lego Day. I was like, nah. Like this, man, Batman Forever has a great poster. Like if you look at that, what a cool poster. As far as floating head posters, that's pretty baller. I love the colors. But oh my goodness, is it a trash pile of a movie? Tommy Lee Jones ruins this movie. Like people will probably look to Jim Carrey, but at least Jim Carrey is doing the Jim Carrey thing, which is over the top and insane. Probably the most Jim Carrey has ever Jim Carreyed. But man, Tommy Lee Jones is the one that you're just like, what are you even doing here? What was the choice? It's kind of insanity, but then at some points it's like, oh, maybe he's trying to make it like that really bifurcated mentality of it's Harvey Dent over here and Two-Face over here. And then he just kind of gives up on it. And then he's just like constantly, it's weird. It's such a weird choice. They're just constantly touching and I don't like it. Two-Face and the Riddler, they're just like always holding on to each other. And it's so weird and unnerving. And I don't know what was going on there. And it constantly looked like Tommy Lee Jones was grabbing Jim Carrey. And that's why I bring it up, like on his side. It's just, what were you doing in this movie, man? Like he's such a good actor, but it's just like all of his choices were wrong for this. Like maybe if you took him out of the movie completely, then you would have like some decent movie with the Riddler and figuring out what he's trying to do. But like Two-Face is basically used as just a random, underling. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating and it's weird. And Tommy Lee Jones is the worst in this. Everyone else, just kind of whatever. It's a meh performance from other people, but movie sucks. Wet Hot American Summer. I dig this movie. It's so dumb. It's the most cringy humor that I still enjoy. And it's just constantly like, what is the craziest thing we could do in this moment? And they do it, and it still makes me laugh. So 3.5 stars for that one. Then I watched Slackers. Weird movie, man. Weird movie. Not gonna lie, Cool Ethan's song at the very end is kind of a banger. That's what I put. Like the song at the very end was pretty good. But I started watching it because I like the cast. The cast is pretty great. But then when you find out what the movie's actually about, it's just like, oh, it's a nothing burger. Would not recommend that one. Nacho Libre, of course. I love that movie. And that was one I was watching with the kids. And they really love it too. Come on, man. When they're doing the training sequence and he just like smooshes all the stuff on his eyes, kids laughed their heads off, and I did too. It's still funny. Don't you want to know what it feels like? I used to have a pen that would like do all the Nacho Libre quotes. So great. I miss that pen. Then I watched Falling Down. Falling Down is a movie that like probably will get more prominent because Arrow's doing like a big release of it. I watched this a couple years ago for the first time, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Actually, I have some of the sound effects I won't go looking for it because I got my Roadcaster over there pretty far away from me. But like, I don't think she likes the secret sauce, Rick. We got a critic. Like all that stuff. Like, man, he is so good in this. And him being, what is his name? Michael Sheen, right? No, wait, Michael Douglas. I always get him confused. But he is phenomenal in this, and so weird. I didn't even notice this until after, directed by Joel Schumacher. So, like, I went from watching Batman Forever with Joel Schumacher, and then watching Falling Down with Joel Schumacher, and it's such different experiences. Although you can kind of see some of the stuff, right? Like, there's just like this weird chaotic energy in his movies. And like, he focuses on everything just being like, just kind of gross and like people laughing. And he's like focused in on the mouth of them laughing and looking at like saliva and like stuff like that. He digs that kind of stuff. And it really works in Falling Down. Falling Down is basically a guy who's been pushed too far, or at least that's what you think. And you're kind of rooting for this guy. And then there's a twist toward the end is all I'll say. And, it's pretty baller. And Robert Duvall is in that too. And he's phenomenal. Just a fun movie. And at first you're just like, yeah, man, like inflation sucks, traffic sucks. Go get him, Michael Douglas. And then, later on, it's maybe not. The World Is Not Enough. Watched James Bond movie. It's a fun one, not a lot to say about it, just kind of a little bit boring, to be honest. So 2.5 stars. Although the chainsaw, this is the one with like the helicopter dragging like this huge chainsaw thing that they were using to like cut down trees and stuff. But they're now using it like it's in a harbor and they're going through like this industrial complex with this huge thing. And it's maybe the coolest weapon that anyone's ever used, like outside of like the typical like lightsabers and stuff like that. It's like, this is amazing. And it's just so fun to watch. It's like the little boy looking at like the big dump trucks, and like, like wrecking balls and stuff like that. But it's like dialed up to 11, it's just so much fun. So that chainsaw thing from the helicopter is probably the coolest thing that I saw all month long. Then I watched Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Took the whole family out to see that one too. Everyone enjoyed it. Like there's a lot of conversation online about this movie. It's a good Star Wars, it's a fun one. It's not great, but it's definitely not bad. And if you like the show, I think you'll like the movie. But right now it's just like this huge talking point about, oh, it's a failure. It's a bomb. It's, box office poison for Star Wars. And, will Star Wars ever be saved? What does Star Wars need to do to survive? Just wait. All I got to do is put a Jedi in a movie theater and people will come back. It's not rocket science. It's going to happen. It's Star Wars. But I will say, slightly disappointing as far as a movie goes, but I enjoyed it and there's a lot to love about it. And cool stuff that I liked was stuff like getting to see inside the Razor Crest with like not just like tight cameras like in a TV show, but like wide angles and like little stuff of seeing him go into space with like the scuffs on the canopy. So cool. Like I dig those stuff. I wish that there was more star stuff, like being out in space. There was a little bit, but most of that was like connected to planets. And I kind of wish that wouldn't it be cool if we had like kind of like, the Jango Fett Obi-Wan moment. We could have had some kind of a dogfight in that way. That would have been fun. But overall I enjoyed it. So it was good enough. 3.5 stars. So I enjoyed it. Mr. Nice Guy, 2.5 stars, mostly just for Jackie Chan, because the story is just like a nothing burger. What a weird weird story. I'm so confused on this world that he existed in. He's like this TV chef, and then he's like, I'm a kung fu master. And is it good that he's a kung fu master, or is it good that he's a TV chef? And like, he's got a brother who's a police officer, but like, what is going on? It's like an adopted brother, and like, what? It's just strange, and you're wondering like, what is his motivation for doing pretty much any of these things? And he like goes into hiding with a couple women, and like, which one is he interested in? I don't know. It's kind of a mess as far as the story goes, but still pretty cool action. Then I watched Star Trek Beyond. This movie gets better and better. I really love the first Star Trek JJ movie. J.J. Abrams directed that first one, that reboot, back in like 2009 or whatever. I love that movie. Thinks like the colors in it are so cool. And then, you had Into Darkness, and the music is great in Into Darkness. London Calling from Michael Giacchino is like baller. Like, I love that track. And even like that little sequence, it's like a movie within a movie. But everything with Khan and like all of that it's a mess. But Star Trek Beyond, when it first came out, everybody was like, oh, this is great. And it didn't do great at the box office, but people were like, this is fantastic. And I don't know. There's something about it. I got tired of them just like crashing. It seems like that entire JJ Star Trek series, it was just like they just kept on failing and then cleaning up their own mess. And I didn't want to see any more of that. And this one, they're basically just like doing that the whole time. And it's frustrating as far as like what they could have done. I think that they could have gone in a whole bunch of different directions. Like, there's a whole galaxy out there, but they just kept on kind of repeating the same story beats. And I remember the first time I watched it, I hated it because of that. But, now we get further away and I can kind of enjoy it for what it is. And the movie itself is pretty fun. So I enjoy it, but, it could have been better. Then what a weird movie, Whitewater Summer. All right, I bought this on Apple because I've heard of this movie because it has Kevin Bacon, and Kevin Bacon is a very special actor in our house because my wife went viral on X years ago now for starting like a Kevin Bacon 6 Degrees thing, and to the point where Kevin Bacon like tweeted at her. And so like, we love Kevin Bacon in our house, and plus he's awesome, right? Great movies, Tremor movies, so fun. But we have never seen this one. And I was like, oh, well, we gotta watch this thing, we gotta find it. And then you start trying to like find it in physical, good luck, like finding a DVD of this thing would be pretty pricey. So we got it on Apple for like $5. I thought what I was signing up for was like, a cute coming of age movie about like Sean Astin is in this movie and some of his buddies, and they're going to go and, have a good summer with Kevin Bacon, learn how to camp, and, maybe there would be some growing pains and all of that. But what I got was pure insanity. This movie is nuts. All right. First, Kevin Bacon starts like making decisions that are just strange. And you're wondering like, why is he doing that? Like, what is he actually trying to accomplish? And then, it gets from like strange to insane in like a very quick amount of time. And then I won't spoil it too much, but I'll just say Kevin Bacon's a villain in this movie. And I was just like shocked. So like at first we were like, all right, well, how does this work? Because he's like doing things that you just wouldn't forgive someone for. Like, it's not like, oh, we can get past this stuff. Like, it starts off with like, hey, Sean Astin, you shouldn't be listening to the radio. We left all that behind. We're here to enjoy the woods and nature. And you're like, okay, I could get behind that. But then it gets to like this insane level where he's just like, do this thing, kid. And like, if you don't, you'll die. It's just like, what? Yeah, it's so strange. It's kind of like, it's got a little bit of heavyweights in it. But it's, wow, so weird. So weird. But I enjoyed it. It just definitely wasn't what I was expecting. So, pretty fun movie though. Some strange moments, like Sean Astin, like they were trying to basically do like a Ferris Bueller thing with him, where he's commentating on what's happening in the movie, like directly into the camera. And that stuff could have just gone away. Like some of it was funny, but like, it's just like, what is happening? What is the tone of this movie? I don't think they really knew, but it's kind of crazy and fun anyways. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, one of the best movies of the last decade, I think. Just super fun. Nick Cage going full Nick Cage and doing all the Nick Cage things. And that's like the movie. That's like the premise of the movie is Nick Cage being Nick Cage. So, what a weird movie. You know, you get all the memes of Pedro Pascal smiling and them being buddy buddy. But it's just bizarre and I love it. So, I don't want to spoil anything more than that. So if you haven't seen The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, you gotta. Nick of Time. Apparently I got this very confused with The Manchurian Candidate. Like the reboot of it. I don't know why. I don't know how, but like I thought I had never seen this. And then as we were watching this, I was like, oh, I've seen this. So I just got it confused. But basically Johnny Depp is, taken hostage with his daughter, and they're like, you got to commit this thing. You got to get that lady. And if you don't, we're going to off your daughter. And basically a race against time. And how is he going to get himself and his daughter out of the situation? Fun movie, fun enough. Some huge leaps, like no one would be allowed to do the things that he does in this kind of, definitely not today, but like security would have been all over him. Like not just, there's some conspiracy stuff going on too, but like someone would have stopped him. But then I showed my kids Johnny Tsunami because why not? If you don't remember this was the Hawaiian surfer guy going and living in, what was it, like Connecticut or something like that, Vermont, and into the snow town. He basically goes from surfing the waves to surfing the snow slopes. And, it's just fun. The kids really enjoyed it. They might not have dug Karate Kid, but they definitely enjoyed Johnny Tsunami. So, and everybody was into it, which was surprising to me. Then that night I watched The Strangers Chapter 1. Man, an irredeemable movie. Like there's slow, and then there's like molasses slow, and then there's like just what are you even doing slow? And that's what this movie is. It's just trash. And like there were moments that were like, oh, you could have done something. And like at the end, it basically becomes 20 minutes of just wood shots where people just kind of, there's woods and then someone kind of walks into frame. And it's supposed to be, I get like the idea is like this weird paranoia because you don't know where someone's going to pop up and you don't know what's going to happen. And like those kinds of shots are supposed to make us as an audience feel like, oh, are they in the same place? We don't know. And like what's around the corner and stuff like that. But when like there's no style to it, there's no stakes to it. You don't like anybody in this movie. Everyone is a bad character. The villains, like I guess that's part of the whole story is that they don't have character, but like they don't even do cool things. So it's just like there's nothing there. So it's just like 20 minutes of someone coming in and out of frame. And just frustrating to watch. So 1 star is what I gave it. Then I watched Orange County because Orange County is the bomb. It's so good. I watched that with my oldest, showing him one of my favorite movies of all time, and he dug it. Jack Black doing Jack Black things long before everyone knew he was Jack Black. Colin Hanks, so funny in this movie. Every time he dives into that pool, I think it's one of like the greatest moments in any coming of age story. So really fun movie. I know I'm biased, but 5 stars. Max Keeble's Big Move. showed the kids that one too. We were on kind of a nostalgic kick. And, I didn't watch, I think there was a TV show on Disney Channel, attached to that. We didn't have cable. But I remember getting this movie from the library. And I was a little bit older, almost a teenager kind of thing. And I just remember thinking it was so funny, and rewatching it, it really is. There's some really good humor in this movie. And the principal is the same guy who's the dad in 10 Things I Hate About You. And he's just so funny in both of those movies. And then me and my oldest watched Free Guy, and not as rewatchable as I thought. I really dug this movie when it first came out, but the more I rewatch it, the less I'm oh, it's not that great. It's pretty generic in some spots, but great ending. And once again, Joe Keery, superstar. And I don't know why he's not one. And he should be. He should be in everything, but he's not. So unfortunately, it's I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just Ryan Reynolds. Maybe I'm not enjoying Ryan Reynolds on screen as much as I used to. I don't know what that is. I don't know why. I don't really care about the drama with his wife or anything. So there's just something going on where I'm just I don't think I like that guy as much as I used to. But those are the movies I watched. So some good ones, a lot of movies. Let me go over here and see, where am I at? Where am I at with my watches here? Let me see. Let's go profile. Come back over here. So this year, I've seen 168 movies, which is, yes, this is the time to judge me and say, how in the world are you watching that many movies? I don't really watch anything else these days. I don't watch TV unless it's Widow's Bay is something I'm really enjoying. But barely any TV, barely any YouTube these days either. And it's just if I got time, I'm doing a project, I'll just put a movie on in the background. Sometimes it's just on my phone, so I am cheating a little bit. Sometimes I'm just listening to a movie, but that's what I'm doing. So 168 movies this year. We'll see. I kind of have a goal in my head of watching a movie a day. That would be really cool. I don't know why, but I just kind of dig that. These are some of the movies that I got this month. I got a couple more, but they're being used in other spots. I bought Insomnia because I didn't have it. I didn't even have it on DVD. I don't know why. Obviously Christopher Nolan, one of my guys. And I honestly think that this movie is way better than people give it credit for, because it is I like crime thrillers when it's just a good mystery. And this is a good mystery. So I enjoyed it. And then I also watched and bought Sisu. So pretty great. Got this for a deal. This Road to Revenge, man, this was a fun one. I saw the trailer. I liked the first one. I think the first one is slightly overrated. But I watched this one and I was oh, cool. It's just a straight up action chase the entire movie. And it's very John Wick in that way. And even to the point where he's barely talking, but there's actually such a sweet story, especially toward the end. You're just dang, man, a movie about community inside this weird action chase that's just over the top action stuff. So I really enjoyed it. And that was one. This was an Amazon purchase, just, it went cheaper than it usually is. So I decided to pick it up. And this was an eBay purchase where I wanted it, but it was pretty expensive where I'm at. And so eBay found it, got a deal. So basically $10 off of what I would have paid for it in store. So wanted to have that in the collection because I've also noticed that these movies are going up in price. The Sisu movies, don't want to be left out. So I wanted to have that in the collection. So those are the movies that I watched this month. Thanks for hanging out with me and, talking about these things. I'm going to end this stream. And if, you're someone who likes me on other channels, you might see a stream pop up here in a couple minutes. But I will be back sometime with a video. I don't know. Life's crazy, so we'll see. Mostly doing the reels. Taking a little bit of a break the last week or so, but I'll get back into it pretty soon. So thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.